paper and then take a picture of it and put it in Smoothie so I can give you points. So I'm trying to give you a cheat sheet and points. If you didn't turn it in or didn't finish it yesterday, you'll have time at the end of class today. The notes are pretty short, I think. So you are being recorded, so you know people have said some pretty stupid things on the recording. Like usually I just won't post it if that happens, but being recorded. Like that, but this is picking up the sound. So if you want to watch the video later, you can. Today is just about like vocabulary, but a whole bunch of geometry and vocabulary. The math is not that hard. Like, if you know what they're saying when they tell you look for a line segment, find a ray, whatever it is, that's most of it. All right, so a point is just like one dot. It's going to be labeled with a letter. So it might be P, it might be Q, whatever it is. So you guys should be writing this down. So at the end of the class, I'm going to want you to take a picture of your notes and the homework to show me that you did all of it with us. And then you'll get points for the day. A line goes forever in two directions. So it goes forever in both directions. That's what those arrows are for. And then a plane is a three-dimensional thing. It's harder to draw. No, I'm sorry, it's two-dimensional. You'll need 3 points on that plane in order to name it. So this would be like plane ABC. It's like a piece of paper, but we're looking at it like from above. So I'm trying to. That's my like 3D art skills there. So it's like a piece of paper. Thanks for coming to the front. I've got so many kids that are blind, like stay in the front. Collinear. So co just means like together. So collinear are points that lie on the same line, and coplanar are points that lie on the same plane. That's already like defined for you. So we do start doing like math with this tomorrow. This is kind of a weird section where it's just like here's what this is, name this. Phone should be away, please. Alright, so then they give us this picture down here, and they ask us to name things. So how do we name things? So part A says give 2 other names for line B. So line B, so here's your B. Line B is referring to this line right here that my pen, I don't know how to mark this, but my pen's going over. Right there. So you need any 2 points on that line. Any 2 points you want. So 2 other names for it. You could say LM. And this is how you write it. You put the 2 letters, and then a little line, like dash above it with arrows on both sides to show that it's going forever in both directions. But it could be any 2 points. So I could also use like MN. Or, what else? I could also use LN. So it could be any 2 points on that line. So those are all referring to the same thing. Like all 3 of those are the same line. Gabe, I put one on Mihailov's desk, didn't I? Where were you? You were here like early. Alright, give another name for plane Z. So remember, plane's like the piece of paper. So plane Z is this whole thing right here. You need to name 3 points not on the same line. So it could be LMP, MPN, LNP. That's it. Any 3 points that are not on the same line. 3 points that are collinear, that's 3 points that are on the same line. So can anybody tell me 3 points that are on the same line? L and N. So we got this line here. L, M, and N are on that line. L, M, N. Or points that are coplanar. So coplane means like a sheet of paper. Co means like they're all on it. So 4 points that are on the same sheet of paper. So this is the sheet of paper here. This is like a line going through it. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's like it's going from the top like through the piece of paper. So the points that are coplanar are L, M, N, and P. The ones that are like literally on that sheet of paper. So then can you tell me the point that is not coplanar? The point that's not on the sheet of paper? Yeah, go ahead. Q and what? So Q is a point. This is A is like the name of that line. So it'd be like a small case letter. No, you're good. The small case letter is labeled like a line or a point. I'm sorry, line or a plane. But Q is right. You have the right idea. Questions on this at all? All right, line segment is just like part of a line, and array is, so here, line segment is like this. So it'd be like AB. And you would write it like that. So it stops at both ends. Instead of the arrows, it's just like a piece. An array has like one endpoint and then an arrow going the other way. So it might look like that. And you would name that like that. Am I good to turn? So we got some examples here. Oh wait, we got another definition. Opposite rays would be rays that go opposite directions. So if I had that line, first of all, let's name that line, like that whole line. There's 3 ways you can name that line. Raise your hand if you can tell me one of them. AC, and you put the little arrows on top, right? What else could it be besides AC? It could be BA, and it could be, so we used AC, we used AB, and then could it also be BC? So any 2 points. Opposite rays, so a ray, remember, has a starting point, and then it just shoots off into one direction. So AB goes that way. So what goes in the complete opposite direction is not AB, but AC. So that's just going to go like the opposite direction. So AB and AC are opposite rays because they're just shooting away from each other. Intersection is just where things cross. Like the intersection of Platte and Maine or something is where those 2 cross. All right, let's go through this part together, example 2, and then I'll have you try example 3 on your own. And then we'll go through it, and then I'm done. Give a number name for Vx. So just looking at that symbol, is that a line, array, or a segment? A line would have arrows on both edges up here. Array would have one arrow. That has none of them, so it's a line segment. Give another name for V. So for segment Vx, would just be XV. So you only name it like going backwards. That's not the whole line, that's the segment, because it doesn't have the arrows. Name all rays with an endpoint of W. So that's like the starting spot. And then does it shoot off anywhere? Raise your hand if you can give me a ray. Someone else. I appreciate it. But someone else wake up. Yeah. WY is a ray with an endpoint of W. And you put the W first, because that's like where there's a starting spot, and then the Y is the arrow because it goes that way. Someone shout out another one. WZ. That's actually an opposite ray of WY because they're like running away from each other. So WY goes this way, WZ goes this way. There's 2 more. Someone new. Riddle, give me one. Can you give me one? WX. Good. And then there's one more, so what would be the opposite ray of WX would be WV. Good. Have you guys ever seen stuff like this before? Like never? This is brand new? Okay. That's fine. Check. Alright, which rays in part B are opposites? So we just kind of did that already, actually. WY, what's the opposite of WY? The opposite ray, so you want to start at the same spot but go the other direction. It'd be WZ, right? So WY and WZ are opposite rays. And then also WX, so W starts and then I go toward X forever, is the opposite of WV, right? Marks all over my drawing. Give another name for YW, and is this telling you that that's a line, a segment, or a ray? It's got 2 arrows on it, so it's a line. And I want to name that another way. So to name a line, you just need any 2 points on that line. So line YW is talking about this line. So you could say WY, you could say YZ, you could say ZY, you can say ZW. Any 2 points that are on that line in whatever order, and then make sure you put the 2 arrows at the top. All right, part E are VX and XV the same ray. VX tells you start at V, that's like where you're going to shoot from, and you point toward X forever. You shoot a rocket that way. XV is you start at X, and you shoot a rocket that way. So are those the same thing? They're not. They're going in completely opposite directions. So I'd say no, since they point different ways. And then we're going to skip that. I don't like the way they write that. We should probably do the third one together too, because it's kind of plain. So this is like, imagine like 2 pieces of paper. I can't really show it. Cut a piece of paper in half and then like glue it back together. But like that's a sheet of paper going up and down, and this is a flat sheet of paper. And they intersect at like this line. So if you could envision this top sheet of paper like breaking through and then coming out the other side. That's kind of what we're looking at there. So go ahead and try those. Try them. They're all true false. If you're not sure, just like wait a second. Follow through them. Go and take a guess. Go for it. Yeah, we're going to be done. It's up to you. Like, I'm just going to go through these. Collinears means they're opposite. They share. Co-plane means they share a plane. They share a paper. Yeah. If you're someone that's not into algebra, you know, a lot of people didn't like the stuff we were doing last week. The good news is geometry is like totally different. There's some algebra in it, but you can do, if you don't know any algebra, you still pass this class. If you know the geometry. It's like a different part of your brain. So there's a lot of kids that like hate algebra, but get into geometry, and you know, it's not that bad. Get into might be a strong word, but like don't hate it, I guess. You got those? Not all eight correct.
I got like half of them. I guess.
You were always talking through them, probably, right? Yes. See you in 5 minutes. Which one did you get stuck on? Okay. Okay, let me go through them. Looks like most people are either done or kind of just stuck. So I'll just talk through. So H, I, and G are collinear. Collinear means they're on the same line, they share a line. I got H here, I here, and G here. So H, I, and G, and they are on the same line. That's true. Number two, H, I, and J are co-planars. So that means they share a plane, like they're sitting on the same piece of paper. H, I, and J. So H is there, I is there, and J is down there. Are those sitting on the same piece of paper? They're not, so that's false. Because H and I are like this guy up here. And then, oh, you know what? I'm wrong, that's true. That's my bad. They are on the same plane, it's just not the one I was looking at. So if I look at this plane, it's a different sheet of paper, right? It's like standing straight up. And aren't they all on that plane? The vertical one? That's my bad. That's true also. EG and FG are opposite rays. Well, I can tell already they're not, because you have to have the same first letter. You have to start in the same spot and then like shoot in different directions. Like they're pointing opposite directions, but they're not opposite rays. EG, that guy. FG, is that guy. So yes, they do point opposite directions, but opposite rays have to start in the same spot. Like run away from each other. Like we're about to battle. So that is false. All points on GI is here. GF is here. Are coplanar. Are those on the same sheet of paper? They are. That's true. The intersection of EF. EF is here. And plane JKH. JKH is this sheet of paper back here. The intersection is HI. HI is here. This is kind of hard to see, but if I had like a vertical sheet of paper like this, and then a line kind of goes from behind it to through it. You see what I'm going for there? I'm a terrible drawer. It's coming out of the board backwards. It's not going to intersect at like a line or just at one spot. That's just piercing through that one spot. So the intersection of this line, the blue line and the green plane, is just that one point, not the line tangent. So this one's false. Now it's kind of hard to see. Is there a hand up? Three more here. The intersection of EF, this, HI, this, and JG, this, is point G. True or false? These three lines all intersect at point G. Yeah. Alright, the intersection of plane EGH. Plane's a sheet of paper. This is the sheet of paper that has EG and H on it. And plane JGI. This guy. And they're saying true or false, they intersect at this one point. It's kind of hard to see without actually having two drawings, but if I had like this plane and this plane, and this could blast through it, would they only cross at one point, or would they cross at like a line? That makes sense. It would cross a line. Let's see if I can show you. So the two planes kind of go like this. And then where they intersect isn't just one point, it's like a whole line, right? You see that? So that one is false. And then the intersection of plane EFI and JGK, so the same two planes, is HG. That's true. That's the line that would go through both of those planes. Like I was just showing you on this paper, it's the line that would come through the middle. If that stuff's hard for you to see, it will get easier. Like the more we do it, the more we get used to it. Some people can see it like right away, like pretty much and stuff, and some people struggle. But it will get easier. Questions for me? That's all I got. So I want you to try the exercises or the practice 1.1. We'll probably check it over before you leave, and you want to have homework. That would be the goal.